Today on Make It Take It Outdoors, an ultralight trout spinner. Stay tuned. Alright, so channel's growing like crazy. I appreciate that, everyone. So today's kind of a throwback, going back to inline spinners. I'm going to be doing some trout fishing in November, December, January, whenever I can get out there. So yes, you probably already know how to make an inline spinner, but we're going to go over it again. This time we're going to be using a single hook rather than a treble hook. So as always, if you like videos like this, do me a favor and hit like and subscribe and all that stuff. But the most important thing is hitting like if you did like the video, because that's what pushes me up in the YouTube algorithm and more people see my stuff. So let's go to the build. All right, so today I started off with a 3/16 ounce bait casting, or bass casting weight, I should say. And when I talk about bass casting weights, this is what I'm talking about. It's a teardrop weight with a brass wire that goes through. It's got a little bit of like a pin head on the top, or actually the bottom, that holds it in. So what I started off was one of these, and I clipped off the wire. It takes a little bit. You gotta wiggle that pin head out of there, but I got it out and painted it black with some white dots, as you can see, and then baked it. You bake this at 350 Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. The type of paint is folk art enamel. You can see that this one cost me $2.49 at Hobby Lobby. That's what you're looking for. The white I use is the same thing, folk art enamel wicker white. Look for this on top. Most of them do have this on the top if they're in enamel, because this is what you would paint a glass with and everything, so you could make it permanent after you bake it, like on a coffee cup. But it's going to be a pretty simple build. We're going to start off, as we do with so many of our inline spinners, with a closed loop. Now we're going to start right here. I'm going to bend it over so it's about that much. Rotate the round nose pliers up. We're going to bring this around and over as far as we can, just about right there. Then I'm going to shift the pliers so they're right above it. And what I'm going to do is push that wire over onto this side. Let's see if you can see that. Let's get that focus better. So it's over like this. Here, I'm going to turn this around so you can see. So I'm going to push this over so it comes around. And then I'm going to take my finger and push it up to complete the loop. So just get that in there. And again, we want to be on top now, sorry. And just push up. Now this is what you got. Now, the other thing I do with my inline spinners is I go ahead and put a swivel on there. Not a snap type swivel, but a barrel swivel. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. That helps reduce a line twist. I forgot to mention, the wire I'm using is 0.018. It's a real light wire. And even though it's a real light wire as far as the size and everything, it's actually 69-pound test. Don't think I'm going to have to worry about that as far as getting broken by a trout. So now I'm just going to push this around and then just wrap it. Couple wraps and we'll be good. All right, so that's what we have now. Snip this off. Oops. And we have the start. Now the blade, I believe this is a number 1 inline spinner blade. These are great for trout. All right, so then you take your inline spinner blade, and it's got this indentation here with the hole. So you just put the wire through that. Yep, just put it right through there. There we go. Now, because of the way it's the way it is, you don't need a clevis or anything. The water's hydrodynamic pressure kind of flares it out because this gets pushed and it spins around the shaft. And I'm going to put a couple small beads on here for like a bearing. If I can, hey, that's a miracle. There we go. Next, we just drop the weight on there. All right, the only thing left to do is make our round loop at the end. Just like before, bend it over, up, bend it around again, and then we force it. So now we have our loop at the end. Now I got to grab a hook here. What I'm going to use is, it's a little bit bigger than I wanted to use. I would rather use the number 8 octopus hook, but we are going with an octopus hook. I tried fishing for trout last year and we did okay. Stephanie caught a lot more than I did, but we were using treble hooks. A trout's mouth is not like a bass. It's soft, and those treble hooks kind of tore them up. And the stream we're catching them on is pretty much catch and release. They release them there, and occasionally you can keep them and everything, but most people just catch and release. There's a lot of fly fishermen there, and you don't want to damage the fish's mouth. There we go. So we just put the octopus hook on the end there, and one way to do it easy is just clamp down. There you go. Just takes a couple turns. We'll snip that off. There you have it. We have a trout spinner. Pretty easy. One last thing I'm going to do. I'm going to take this and I'm going to smash down that barb. Again, we're trying to do as little harm to that fish as we can. Now, if I go there one day and I say, hey, you know what, I'm going to keep the trout today, I might leave that barb on there to make it a better catch rate, but for the most part, I'm going to smash them down. It's just a lot better for the fish if you're catching them and releasing them. Well, at least a fish like a trout, which especially has a soft mouth. They're not like a bass that has those hard parts, especially a smallmouth. But there you go. So there you have it. Like I said, easy build. I hope you enjoyed it, and give it a shot. If you got any questions, drop me a comment. You can also reach me at Gmail, makinglures@gmail.com. So that being said, you have a great day. Tight lines.